for the love of the game. What's your views every game? What's your views right?
This Sierra Leone tour is brought to you by FC Johansson and all our wonderful sponsors. Now come on, let's get into this video. Made it into Sierra Leone, Rob, we're here. Obviously we watched the game at the airport on our connection flight. Let me get your first thoughts, because it's a 3-2 win. I mean, it was a good game though, at least we won. Because imagine if we lost.
Trust me, listen, first of all, big up to everybody. We didn't actually get to the game. As you can see, we were travelling over to Sierra Leone. We were going to be doing a big watch party with Arsenal fans here in Sierra Leone, back in Africa, for the Crystal Palace game on Saturday. Yeah. So we're really looking forward to that. But of course, as you said, we played Palace last night. And the funny thing is, we missed the start of the game because we was in the air. Yeah. And then we landed, right? And then as soon as we landed and we got connection, I said to Ryan, I go, yeah, Ryan, what's the score? What's the score?
Yeah.
And he goes, Arsenal losing 1-0. I go, what? I was going, no. He goes, Arsenal losing 1-0. I was crestfallen. I was thinking, nah, man. Of all the weeks we've been having, all the negativity around and that, the last thing we need is Arsenal to lose this game. But then started watching the game, and then, you know, to be fair to Arsenal, really picked it up. And almost like perfect that Gabriel Jesus,
got his hat-trick.
The guy's been getting, you know, a lot of stick, hasn't been scoring, hasn't really been, even when he's been coming on as a substitute, hasn't been delivering, comes up with a hat-trick to win us the game.
Look back to his very best. I mean, that first goal, took it straight away, no chopping, just took it in, think the keeper. Looks like he's full of confidence. The old Jesus, it's nice to see. I think obviously in Arteta bringing on Odegaard as well, I think added to that
Odegaard with a couple of assists,
which is nice.
You know what I mean? I mean, listen, the first half was you know, we only saw the highlights of the first half, but I've got to say, that first goal, if I saw my son or one of the other defenders make that mistake that Kivior made, where I don't know what, did he lose it in the floodlights or what? I mean,
can you excuse him because he hasn't been in that regular back line?
Of course you can't excuse him. No, he has played regularly recently. You know what I mean? And I just thought, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was bad.
What do they say? Don't let the ball bounce. He just literally watched it and then he just let it bounce over his head, and then Mateta just bullied him off the ball, and it was a great finish by Mateta, but Kivior's got to do better there. That was really poor defending. But to be fair to the manager, half-time, brought on Odegaard, brought on Saliba. Yeah. Game changed. Game changed completely. Odegaard back to his best, because remember, Odegaard as well is getting a lot of criticism over the weekend.
Loads.
Really poor performance by him, by his very high standards. We're not used to saying that Martin Odegaard had a poor game, and he did on Saturday. So it was great to see him, you know, with 2 assists in the game.
A good sign for Saturday for you, Rob?
When he
brought on the strong, I don't want to say the strong team, that sounds bad, but the main first team, that's what we expect to see on the weekend.
Great for Odegaard and great for Jesus. And I think great for Arteta in a way, because Palace went with they started with their strongest possible team. I know they took off Eze and that later on, but they started with their strongest possible team. And for us to turn over their strongest possible team, psychologically, that gives you a little, you know, something in your head. Listen, it doesn't mean anything come Saturday completely, because that's a different game. But I just felt that, we needed to win that. I couldn't contemplate losing that game and then going into the game on Saturday with all the doom and gloom and that would have been around. And and as I said, perfect that Gabriel Jesus scored a hat-trick. And now the question is, does he start? Does he start on Saturday? For me, he does.
Yeah. Can you drop a player that scored a hat-trick?
For me, no.
People say Havertz is the main number 9 for Arsenal, but no one's really. I said this about the left wing side. No one's really claimed that position. Havertz had started the season well, but Jesus with a hat-trick, to drop him after that, and the goals weren't. These weren't
great finishes.
These weren't bad goals. I know one of them was might have been offside, but big up, which I don't mind.
VAR.
I'm happy with that.
Good.
I'm happy. We can enjoy the game properly.
It's only marginally offside.
Yeah, and with a goal like that, and the way, I think it's good that there was no VAR for it to stand. But you spoke about, you know, the Jesus goals and Mateta. We didn't speak about Eddie returning and scoring. And of course,
Eddie Nketiah, the guy ain't scored a goal all season, ain't scored a goal for Palace. On Saturday, I saw that guy miss an absolute sitter.
One-on-one at the end,
Absolute sitter. And then he turns up, rocks up at the Emirates, goes and scores a banger. I mean, what more can you say? You know what I mean? It's almost like it was written. But, you know what I mean? The fact that it didn't cost us, that's the main thing. So in a way, kind of even glad that he's off the mark. Get off the mark there, but not on Saturday. But you know,
Well, let's talk about this just before we kind of move on as well, because I want to talk about if confidence for Saturday, and I'm briefly touching it because there'll be a preview coming out, so I won't go too much into it. But what we're forgetting, 3-2, we're into a semi-final. I think that's the main thing. We're talking about the scoreline, but a semi-final of a cup. I mean, it's something that I want to win. People, I know you sometimes.
No,
but
listen.
for me, I haven't seen this trophy in my lifetime.
I always say, right, if you're in a competition, you go to win it. I always just all I've said in the past, right, is that the priority for Arsenal is not on the Carabao Cup, especially over the last couple of seasons where we were really chasing down the league. But I think that the significance of it is a lot different this year, because there's been a lot of fans having a go at Mikel Arteta, saying that, you know, you haven't delivered a trophy since you first turned up 5 years ago. It's 5 years since he's been in charge. You know what I mean? We all saw the comments a couple of days ago that he's been getting a lot of stick for, where, you know, he's basically been said, well, you only won one trophy. And he goes, well, I've won a couple of community shields. Which, you know, that didn't go down too That didn't go down well with a lot of fans. They were sort of saying, oh, come on, man, the community shield's not really a proper trophy. The Carabao Cup is a proper trophy. It's the least important of all of them.
Yeah, but
it's a proper trophy. And if you actually look at the teams that are left in this, you're going to have to play really well to win it, because
over 2 legs as well.
As we saw from yesterday, you could come up against Liverpool because they beat Southampton. You could come up against Newcastle because they beat Brentford, right? And then of course tonight the game, you know, Tottenham or Man United. So it's going to be big teams. All the teams left in it. It ain't like you're going to be able to avoid anybody. You're going to have to play one of the big guns that are left in there to get through to the final, and then you're going to have to beat one of those big guns to win it.
So going forward, priority for them, Mikel Arteta, he plays in the semis, it's strong squads.
Strong, I would.
There's no rotations that we've seen. You know, Ethan started, Raheem obviously started against.
Listen, you could have a slight rotation in it, because, you know, I think you can do a slight rotation.
I don't know how I feel about that.
But it all depends what I don't know what the games are in and around it. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be lots of games. But to me, you're in a semi-final, try and get to that final. Then you get to that final, we're at Wembley. You know what I mean? And you're at Wembley, it's a great day out. I mean, the last time he was in that Carabao Cup final, it didn't go well. We got battered by City. Yeah. But this time, we've got a real chance of winning it. And let's go for it. We're in the semi-final, you know what I mean? We went for it last night, even though we made all those changes. But you can see by the players that he brought on that he didn't want to lose that game. Let's go for it, man. Let's try and win this. Let's try and win this final. You know what I mean? Get a trophy in the bag.
That's the most important.
I think for Mikel Arteta,
in the bag early.
For Mikel Arteta, it'd be a good look, right? Because, you know, you've got a trophy. You've won something. Yeah. You've won something. So to me, go out there and try and win it.
All right. Well, listen, we're here now. We won the game, so now looking forward to the weekend game. Yeah. And hopefully we will be with loads of Sierra Leone fans, Arsenal fans. We had a lovely welcome.
Lovely welcome at the airport. You know what I mean? So far, it's been beautiful. Looks like a beautiful country. The sun's out, right? In December. I know the weather. We was leaving England, man. It was raining and that, but the sun's out in December. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to this, and you know. Just even when you're in the UK, you meet so many Arsenal fans from Sierra Leone. So to be here, to be able to watch that game on the weekend with all the fans, it's going to be brilliant. And don't forget, guys, as well as us being here and doing what we do, we're going to be at the Palace game as well. The guys are going to be there, Turkish, Laurie, all those guys are going to be at the Palace game. We're going to be doing the fan cams. We're going to have the watch-alongs in the studio. So all the normal stuff that we do in the UK, but on top of that, we're going to be speaking to fans here in Sierra Leone as well. It's all about
good vibes.
The community, man, of Arsenal fans, wherever you are around the world. So looking forward to this.